Coming Clover's A today. Got somebody new, Ronix. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce his name. I try pronouncing his name in different ways. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Now I'm keep real with you, but was the Max Steel movie really that bad? Now if you don't know what Max Steel is, it's been a long time since I've seen it. I've seen it since I was a kid. But based on what I remember, it's this kid robot. They join to get into a suit. And basically, what his powers consist of, super speed, strength, and he has different suit modes like stealth and all that. Now let's talk about the movie, because sometimes they do make movies of like shows, like Ben 10 got one, which is pretty cool in my opinion. We don't talk about Avatar, but you get the point. Let's get into it.
Okay, so the scene starts off with our main character Max McGrath and his mum moving into their new house in Copper Canyon. And this is now their 8th time moving. I'll be mad as hell. Imagine finding the love of your life in one state and the next day you go move across the country.
You know what? I paused kind of early, but I actually relate to that. Because when I was younger, like all the years in high school, we used to move every year. So like, I ain't gonna lie, like when I moved, I might as well just not made any friends. Cause after that year, I moved somewhere else. So it's like, don't get me wrong, I still made friends, but it was like, once the school term is over, I'm known dipping out somewhere else. But hey.
Damn. As Max is packing in his room, he ends up distorting the TV image with his hand. Had him looking at himself in straight confusion. I'll be hitting the same pose after catching something I wasn't looking at. I have to try to shoot a web up my wrist, cause you never know.
Is it kind of funny to say I did that too, but like instead of Spider-Man, when I got older, and I still do it. I think I'm more of an ultra instinct when I do it, but you know what? Besides the point. But yeah, I'd be like, how did I catch that? But anyway, off topic.
Next day then comes Max goes to school, and as he gets there, he almost gets hit by a car, crashing into a railing. And Max wakes up to see fine shit sitting above him. She makes sure he's okay and tells him to come see her after school. Bro, there's no way it's this easy. This might be the new method. I've been out here trying for 19 years, not knowing all I needed was a bike. I'm going to buy one today. Max then goes to class, and as soon as his teacher sees his last name, he immediately gets fanned out and starts glazing, saying that his father was an incredible and remarkable man. The way his dad gets glazed in this town is insane. You would think he's Duke Dennis.
I would have said LeBron. Not gonna lie to you, because look, his dad is just one of those people in the town. Everybody knows his dad in the town because his dad was just that popular, that famous. He did that many great things in that town. That in terms of glaze, he's definitely up there with LeBron. And you know how LeBron glazes be getting, bro. Like they real life be praying to their LeBron shrines on their kid's birthday. Like they rather go to a LeBron game. They go on honeymoon with their wife type beat, anniversary type beat. But when I ain't talking about them, they're kind of weird. But hey.
The school day then ends and Sophia pulls up on Max to take him back to her place and fix up his bike. And I don't know why they called her Sophia in this movie. The girl from the show is called Sydney. I don't know what reason there is to change her name wouldn't have made a difference. And we barely even see Kirby in this movie. He's in it for like 2 seconds getting bullied. And I'm not even sure this is him. I'm just making an assumption. Anyways, they go to her crib. She fixes...
I'm pausing a lot. I'm sorry. But they do tend to like change characters' names like they did in Avatar. Like Ong, don't know who calls him that. Besides the point, and maybe since this movie was supposed to be his origin story, they didn't like bring in his actual friends until they decided to make another one, which I don't remember if they did or not. But that's probably all what they're planning to do. Kind of similar how the Sonic movie did it. Well, like, they added in more people to the roster. You get it.
Fixes the bike, and Max goes back home to see Miles Dredd in his living room. Now, if you've seen the show or the movie, you'll know who this is, but if you haven't, I won't spoil it. His mom then says he's staying for dinner, and Max goes upstairs to get ready. We then go over to a lab with a pool in it. A shockwave happens, causing the pool to ripple, and the two scientists go to check it out. They get to the pool, and the water bursts up in their face. Wow, that sounded crazy. Pause. The water then starts to take a weird form, and the first thing Buddy over here decides to do is go to touch it. There's no way you can be this curious. You know there's an alien in there, bro. What? Bro
is definitely not a member of the African American community. All right, I would like to say in our bed we did not claim him. He has to be 50% white. That's all I'm saying.
You doing? This guy must have that cave diver mentality, cause how can someone be this curious? But his buddy pretty much sees him hitting the alarm and calling security. Still tries to dip, but they close the doors on him. So he zooms past them, digs into the ground,
he look like Venom in that scene.
Escaping. We didn't cut back to Max having dinner, and we find out that unlike the show, Miles Dredd is still at Intech and is actually the one running it. And we also get some information on Max's dad, saying that he died during an incident at Intech. We then fast forward to Miles leaving. Max goes upstairs to research the incident that happened at Intech, and the computer turns off on him for no reason.
Oh yeah, if you don't know what Intech is, it's basically the company that's been like researching, studying, and testing on the devices that Steel is, you know, the elementals, all that kind of stuff. And Max's mom was a crazy plot twist, but I'm gonna let him say it.
That's a slammer to turn it back on and awakens his turbo energy. Had him in street confusion, looking like he just found out he's no longer the fastest in primary school. You already know your goal's getting taken. Max slams his hand underneath his pillow, brings it back out, and the energy's still there. And for some reason, he's instantly able to turn it off and on. Max then pulls up to the woods the next day to test out his powers.
I would too, big dog.
He starts to overload the clock and accidentally expose the boombox and the lamp. Max then pulls back up to school and Sophia arranges a date.
Hey bro, let me get some powers. I'll do the same thing, boy. I'm trying to be the next, not Batman, because Batman don't get powers. I'm trying to be the next Static Shock. That's a good one. You know, because a lot of people would say Spider-Man or Miles Morales think outside the box. Static Shock. Haha, bless you, girl.
With him at a Thai restaurant. Now, ladies, if any of you look at me like this, I'm telling you, I'm
Alright, buddy, calm down.
And even Max is over here geeked, causing the vending machine to overload. And directors, you can't fool me. I know what kind of man you are. We then fast forward to Max on the date with Sophia, and she's over here biting her lip.
Ty B. What's up,
She asks Max to put his number in her phone, but his turbo energy starts to act up, giving him a headache. So he runs off into the bathroom. But his headache just continues to get worse and worse. To the point his turbo energy turns on, the lights turn off, and his chest starts.
If he holds it in too long, it can like explode out of him. But I ain't gonna lie, that girl is on him. Like, she want him. Like, she on her soccer type timing. Like, bro's putting in zero effort for the box. So that's all I'm saying, bro. Zero effort.
So he just decides to put his hoodie up and leave, flaking on Sophia. And Sophia, just know I would never do this to you. Come mess with a real man. Max then runs out the store with still stalking him, like me stalking Feinstein's repost, trying to look for any clues. He runs into the woods and starts to overload with turbo energy, letting out a scream.
Final explosion
is going on, still charges into him, and we just cut to Max waking up the next morning. And he's waking up all confused, like he's hungover. Head is banging and there's burn marks on.
Bro woke up like Peter Parker after he got bit by the spider. Peter said, he started looking around. Bro, walking like Peter Parker.
What type of freaky stuff was he doing? He then gets up, goes into the bathroom, takes off his shirt, and sees that still Simba has been burned onto his chest. But he's been branded. Still then pulls up behind Max out of nowhere, and Max runs into his room all shook, closing the door.
I was too, like, bro, what are you?
Door shut, he decides to let go and go grab a bat. Buddy, you're not gonna need to use it if he's not in the room. Max tries to swing it, still misses hitting the lamp, but somehow still gets him to calm down by saying his name. Literally gave him no other information that'll make him trustworthy, just his name, and for some reason Max immediately trusted him. Still then introduces himself to Max, saying that he's come from space to protect him. And I ain't gonna lie, I messed with this stool design. It's a lot more fair for live action rather than the cartoon design. Still then latches onto Max again. Max pushes him off and still.
You know what this reminded me of? Warframe. And Destiny. The drones. And the suit kind of his suit. I ain't gonna lie, his suit in the show, in that not show, that movie is, but still the go by hey. Bro, like, I ain't gonna say it. Keep going.
Who explains to him that every time he has a build-up of turbo energy, he still has to absorb it so he doesn't explode. But Max don't want to deal with any of this. He's trying to be a normal teenager, so he goes to put Still back where you found him, which I don't understand at all. How can you discover you have superpowers and decide you want to be like everyone else?
Right, bro.
Becoming the next Spider-Man. But while they're on their way, some black trucks pull up and some guys dressed in all black come out looking for them. Max disables their devices with his turbo energy, but they see Still and instantly start up in the pole. So Max and Still dip out, and while they're running away, Still starts to get a memory of what happened to him. And because both of them are linked, Max sees it as well. They see a reflection of Still in a storm, saying that the Ultralinks are about to attack. They then come out the memory all confused and Still explains to Max that the Ultralinks are the bad guys. But the men in black start to close in, so they decide to go to school because that's the one place they most likely won't fall.
Hey man, don't give them that much credit, alright? Men in black, come on now. The men in black in any other media, in any variation, it's better than these goobers, alright? These boys couldn't capture anything. Let's keep it a beam, bro. Stop it.
And while they're at school, Sophia pulls up on them, asking Max if he's okay because he ran out the store. He
She
tries to
want
raise her
him.
up again, saying that he'll make it up to her, but still's over here playing elite level defense. DDG will be proud. So Max...
Oh, bro, I remember that. They were okay. So it was them. This is way off topic. This is them and some girls in the room, and bro was macking down, you know, spitting that game, and then bro, well, like he just played the clip. Y'all seen the clip? He took his side off, and it was so crazy, disrespectful. It was like, wow, bro, your own man's, bro, and like bro just got up, put his hat back on, shook everybody's hands to the left. Like bro actually just left like that. Nah, bro. That's it. Nah, bro. I go comparison to DDG is actually crazy work. Like that's a crazy comparison, no cap.
Decides to give up, leaving her again, dipping out to Entech, cause Still started to remember it. So they start to walk around to see if they can remember anything, and Still explains to Max that his turbo energy can enhance his physical abilities. So he goes to test it out. He gets a flash step, kicks the whole canister away, and we go through a whole montage of him trying different stuff.
Well, I'm telling you, boy,
off the wrong foot, and he ain't even a bump feed type of guy. Max then stands on top of a railing, ends up falling.
I like how Max just got powers and then just started doing random stuff. Backflips, flips, parkour. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't going with y'all. I would have been the same thing. I said I was gonna be static shot. I probably would have been trying to do more than that. You know, maybe Green Lantern, maybe Shazam, maybe I'm strong enough to be like a Black Superman type beat. But anyway, I'm off topic.
And genuinely, we get hit with one of the worst superhero transformations of all time. They didn't even show us the transformation. He just lands in the suit.
Oh, look at the suit.
Kind of ass.
You can't tell me it's not a Warframe, bro. Like, at ugly, beefed up. What was his name? Not Atlas. Even though he kind of like Atlas too. Excalibur. That's like a weird. Like, bro, like your suit looks soft and hard at the same time. Oh my god, bro, this is bothering me. Like, no drip, zero drip, dripless.
I get that he has a proper transformation later, but this is our first time seeing the suit. You could have given us something. Anyways, because they link together, they unlock another memory of Still and Max's dad working together, and then both getting attacked by the Ultralinks in Entech. They both come out the memory, and Max is over here confused on how Still knew his dad. This is like Bronny James asking someone how they know his dad. His dad's the LeBron James of this town, who doesn't. Max then decides to go ask Miles Dread because he was at the accident, and while on the way there, he almost gets hit by Sophia again. But the guys in the black vans then pull up on him, and he fakes on Sophia for the third time, and he must have a genjutsu on her or something, because he goes into an alleyway, tells Still to hold them off. Sophia pulls back up on him and offers to drive him 20 miles to enter.
Bro, she's on Sakura timing, bro. She's on Hibani from Fire Force type timing, bro. Like, she's on this man, bro. She's not letting it. Like, bro, like, he's putting zero effort, zero game in. Bro has that Peter Parker aura, that Spider-Man aura. How you pulling baddies? We'll put it in minimal effort. Not even that. Like she even gave this man her truck temporarily and a phone to go do something. And she's like, all right, but here I'm like, buddy, how? All right.
What type of elite level Itachi genjutsu is this? So they pull up to Entech with Max trauma dumping on Sophia, basically the whole ride. Max then asks to speak to Miles alone, so they pull up to his office and Max asks what really happened to his father. And Miles says that when he got there, the whole thing was basically destroyed. Then shows him a prototype of what his father was working on, and starts to see that sometimes Max's dad became too ambitious and started to reach too far. So Max starts to get worked up because of this, because he's basically saying it's all his dad's fault. His turbo energy starts to act up again, and the headache comes back. So he runs out the room, leaving Entech. But while he was over here tweaking, his turbo energy started to activate the prototype. So now Miles knows that he's starting to produce it. Max then runs out onto some train tracks, but the wind starts to pick up out of nowhere. So he runs away, hiding underneath a train. And at this point, he's in a whole storm. He peeps a little tunnel for shelter, runs into it, but just starts getting flung around like that one scene in Grown Ups. Max then runs out the tunnel to help some random lady stuck on the tracks by restarting her car with his turbo energy. Max then hits to dash into a shed, the wind calms down, and he's over here thinking he's good. But like Kendrick during the Drake beef, I think we ain't done yet. The lights turn off.
Speaking of that, Why did Kendrick drop so many times? Like Drake dropped one time and then Kendrick would drop 50. Like I like bro, like I don't think it was that serious. And this whole thing started because of one lyric in a song J. Cole and Drake did. And then Kendrick responded to that one part in a song he had, was it Future? Might have been Future. But that's the point. And then once he did that, the beat started. It was like Drake could have avoided the whole situation if like he did what J. Cole did. Because I like who hated J. Cole for like dropping a disc, taking it away, and then stepping out of it. But he saved himself the same embarrassment Drake got. And Drake followed in J. Cole's footsteps. We went and got this. Well, granted, I appreciate the beef because it was W Entertainment, but it's kind of OD for real, especially the Super Bowl. Say Drake, like, you know what? I'm not gonna get into that.
And the reef, matter of fact, the whole building gets destroyed. Max then turns around to see the wind elemental behind him. He starts to get sucked in pause, but before he can get captured, Still pulls up, slamming into him, causing him to transform. But
briefly,
this lasts like
5
seconds. Cause they hit he's right behind me, isn't he? The elemental smacks them away and they de-transform. They both then skedaddle, hiding behind the fence like that's gonna help. And Max is over here talking about some no OT tonight. He tries to shoot some turbo energy at the elemental and completely breaks. This is how females feel it's gonna go if they shoot their shot, not knowing they have a 99% success rate. Any females watching this, just try it out. Unless you're Astravino, it's gonna work.
Which is actually crazy because he's not wrong. I like how every time I pause, it's like usually off topic, but that's besides the point. Yeah, ladies, if you ask out a guy, depending on how long you've known him or like something like that, he's more likely to go like, and why not? Because y'all fail to understand that since we usually do the asking out, we're not used to being the ones who are asked out. So like that level of shock, we're gonna be like, how do we respond to this? We're not used to this. Well, for one, if you're somebody, or if you're a guy who's like, if you're talking to a guy who's like usually to himself, or like a guy that's not really used to being approached, then the first thing he's probably gonna think is, am I being pranked? He might not say it out loud, but that's probably what he gonna think. I know if a girl walked in to me and asked if I wanted to go, I'd probably start looking for a camera. I probably like, yeah, tight beat, because ladies, if y'all like ask, like, not ask the guy, if y'all tell a guy a compliment and he starts looking around, that guy usually does it a compliment. God did it a couple times where like, I had to look around and make sure she was talking to me. I was like, oh, appreciate it. But anyway, I'm done. I'm done with that.
Anyways, Max then gets sucked into the elemental, but Still flies in saving him, and they transform again. And the energy from their transformation causes the elemental to de-transform, leaving it wide open. So Still gets Max to charge up some turbo energy, and they shoot at the elemental, destroying it.
Was that a command, man?
Some turbo energy.
No way! I didn't even notice those scenes.
And they shoot at the
bro said he did the. Nah, y'all not slick, bro.
Leaving it wide open. So
that was Kamehameha wave.
Turbo energy, and they shoot at the elemental, destroying it. They then de-transform, walk over to the elemental, and see that it looks just like Still. Max starts to question this, and they get hit with another flashback, where Max's dad is asking for Still's help and saying that he trusted him, making it look as though Still was the one that betrayed him. They even come out the flashback, and Max says he can no longer trust Still, cause he's an Ultralink and he thinks he's the one that killed his father. So Max dips out, leaving Still behind. He tries to go back home, but the men in black are there, and they raided the whole crib like this is Diddy's mansion. So he pulls up to Sophia's house, hits her with the Riz move that I taught him, and asks if he can borrow a phone, her whole truck, and a pair of rubber gloves. And she actually gives it to him. Now, if a boy ever came to my house asking my daughter for the truck, I got her the chokehold, and she actually gives it to him, I'm pulling out the 8012 for the switch, and I might air out the whole place.
Hey, she got him in a
she got her in a chokehold. On the phone to Miles Dread asking him for help because the guys in black took his mom, and Miles tells him that they most likely took her to the abandoned Entech building. So Max immediately drives over there. He then pulls up to the building on his bike because the car broke down halfway there. Max goes inside to look for her, and whole time she ain't even there. She's back at home on the phone to Sophia. She then jumps off the phone, and we find out that his mom has known about everything, and that Miles Dread has been the one ordering these guys around to.
Like, that's a crazy crazy like flip. If you didn't watch the show, cause in the show she kind of admits in the show like, hey, I kind of already knew, but you know they had to do it some way in the movie too. Anyway,
eliminate Still, but she tells him that she's still the majority shareholder of Entech, so they work for her, and her first order is to find Max and protect him. We then cut back to Max inside of a lab in Entech. He starts to walk around and sees Still inside of the machine his dad was working on. Max then runs up to Still to help him, but there's a force field around him, and we get hit with another flashback, but this time it actually shows us everything that happened. It turns out Max's dad Still and Miles Dread were trying to protect the Earth from the Ultralinks. Max's dad hops in the machine to charge up his turbo energy to blast them with it, but the defenses had been sabotaged, allowing the Ultralinks to get into the building first. Still then wakes up to see Miles Dread standing with the Ultralinks. This is insane levels of betrayal. It's like KD going to the Warriors. I am a Warriors fan, so I was hyped, but I know them OKC fans were an absolute
yeah, I ain't gonna lie, like we seen the skits RDC made about well, some of y'all might have seen the skits about the trades, like the player, you know, that won the that helped win the you know, the league, went over to the Warriors, I think. Wait, no, it wasn't the Warriors. He went to LeBron's team. I forgot. I don't really watch sports like that, so like my knowledge on that isn't that high. But I know the basic gist of it, to where it's funny to me that he mentioned this.
Straw. Miles then picks up Still, puts him next to McCraw, which is Max's dad's name, and tells the both of them that he made a deal with the Ultralinks, that if he eliminates him, they will allow Miles to drain him of his turbo energy. This is an insane backdoor, basically snaked him to get high. Miles then starts the draining process, and McCraw tells Still that he's gonna overload the core, and also tells him to go into stasis to survive the blast, and when he wakes up to find Max and protect him. McCraw then explodes, Max comes out the memory, turns around and sees Miles standing there in possibly the worst suit I've ever seen.
You know what? Now that I'm looking at this comparison, the Blue Beetle movie might have been a little bit inspired by this. Not entirely, but like maybe like the end fight scene where him versus the other guy might have been a little bit inspired by this, because like the similarities is kind of interesting suit wise. I mean, it's not that similar. I'm kind of like yapping, but it kind of reminds me of the recent Blue Beetle movie. So it could have been inspired, but more than likely not at all, but I'm just saying.
Type of stuff you see fashion guys wearing, talking about some, it's Balenci though. Anyways, Max charges in at Miles, but gets grabbed by the neck, gets hit with 2 body shots and dropped back down to the floor. Miles then grabs him, hits him with a knee to the face, grabs him by the neck again and slams him onto a pillar. Max tries to hit him with some turbo energy, but he just eats it like it's chicken dinner. He then slams Max back on the floor and tells him that all the time he was working with his father and Still, he was exposed to the turbo energy and it felt amazing. Bro was basically Flight Reacts 24/7. He then tells Max to get into the machine so he can do the same thing he did to his father, but Max has to get up to attack and gets hit with a disgusting backhand, and Miles starts talking crazy, talking about some,
your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should kill yourself now.
Crazy.
And he actually reveals that Max's dad is an alien. Max then jumps into the machine, Still wakes up, and the draining process starts. But Max starts to push out more turbo energy than the machine can handle, causing it to overload. He hits a corny line and Still jumps into his chest, going turbo. And we actually get a transformation scene.
This was a Ben 10 ass transformation. Like, you can't tell me looking at this
and Still jumps into his chest going turbo, but we actually get
you can't tell me that that's like a Ben 10 transformation. Like, we go to forearms, they go up the arm and stuff. Like, come on now. It started when the alright, I'm not gonna sing the theme song. You see, you got superpowers. Okay, stop.
This was kind of fire.
Hey, didn't theme song though.
But at least we got a good scene out of it. Max then tells him that if he wants the power, he's gonna have to come get it. And they
get it back in blood.
And when I say boxing, I really mean boxing. Max hits the post for the grab, charges in, jumps in the air, flips, and hits him with a twofer to the face. Block,
this was a Power Rangers ass fight.
Pushes his arm away into an elbow to the back, spins back around and hits him with
Superman
a punch to the face. Kicks him back right to the face. Tries to follow up with the left, but gets grabbed, causing him to flip.
Bro, look, bro, this is a Superman. This is Superman Power Ranger fight, bro. The unnecessary flips, bro. I mean, the combo is great, but come on, bro. We can't tell me You can't tell me, bro.
And
Look.
kicks him in his chest,
Look.
kicks down the attack and backflips to kick him in his face.
Like for
Even
what?
comes in with the body shot of Doom. Same thing Ryan Garcia got hit with, had him taking a knee for
Yeah, that was
BLM.
crazy.
Miles then grabs Max, hits him with a backhand and tackles him into the next room.
Spear.
He tries to come in with the overhanded destruction, but Max weaves it, but gets picked up by the legs and thrown away. Max then gets up and goes to hide like he's playing Five Nights at Diddy's, with still telling him to avoid the claw because it drains him of their turbo energy. Max then says they need to come up with a plan and still suggests turbo stealth. And I really wish they went into more modes during the movie. The only other one we got was Flight, and that was right at the end of the movie. So they disappear.
I would have loved to see the power mode, the strength and all that. I would have loved that.
Here, Max hits him with a disgusting
Hit him in with a
four-piece head in straight
goddamn Detroit
confusion,
smash.
but Miles sees his reflection through the water, allowing him to find him. He puts his foot on Max's neck and starts to drain him of his turbo energy, but the men in black pull up just in time, saving Max, and Miles over here just starts murking his own people. I would have seen him murk the first guy, turned around and hit the dash. I'm not staying around for nothing. Max then hides and starts thinking about running away, but he gets a flashback of Nikkei 30.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
Never back down, never what?
Never give up.
He then says they're going back out to fight, and the plan is that since he wants so much energy, he's gonna give him more than he can handle. He pulls up on Miles, hits him with a flash step, comes back around, hitting him with like 20 super fast body shots, hits him up to the ceiling, and Bicycle kicks him away with perfect form.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. You're bro in his ass, bro. Like the combos are nasty. I ain't finna lie to you, bro. That whole sequel was nasty, bro. Street Fighter combos, bro. Tekken combos, Dragon Ball combos. Like, bro, it sped over at full speed. It's like he's piecing that man up with maximum efficiency, bro. Maximum effort. Shadow Deadpool, bro. Like that's
He then
crazy.
pulls back up on Miles, and bro is fake sleeping. Sweep, backhand, throws him into the wall. 1, 2, elbow to the face, and 2 headbutts. Miles then starts to drain Max of his turbo energy, but this is all a part of Max's plan. He grabs his hand, holding him there, forcing Miles to take too much turbo energy, causing him to overload, and he eventually explodes. The smoke then clears, and we see Max is still laying there, still alive. His mom then pulls up, checking if he's okay, and says hi to Still, because obviously they already know each other. And this is now basically the end of the movie. Now for final judgments, I'll say this is a cool 6 out of 10. Some bits were cold, but majority of the movie was straight doo-doo water.
Bro, Brian, gonna lie. I remember hearing that term for the first time from Club City. Had me dying. But yeah, that's about it. That was a good little refresher on the movie. But I'm gonna get up out of here. You know, link in the description as always. Hope y'all enjoyed. This guy's funny. Probably do more of him later. Peace.